Our mortgage stress and default modelling is in for October. So today we discuss the results and count down the latest top 10 suburbs across Australia. Hi, I'm Martin North, Principal Analyst at Digital Finance Analytics. Today we discuss the latest mortgage stress and default results and count down to the current most highly stressed postcodes in the country. This is based on our updated mortgage stress and default modelling for Australian mortgage borrowers to the end of October 2017. Across Australia, more than 910,000 households are estimated now to be in mortgage stress, compared with 905,000 last month. And more than 21,000 of these are in severe stress, which is up 3,000 from last month. This equates to 29.2% of households. We see continued default pressure building in Western Australia, as well as among more affluent households beyond the traditional mortgage belts across the country. But notably, we see stress building in the major markets of Sydney and Melbourne. We estimate that more than 52,000 households risk 30-day default in the next 12 months, up 3,000 on last month. We expect bank portfolio losses to be around 2.8 basis points overall, although losses in Western Australia will rise to 4.9 basis points. Risks in the system continue to rise, and whilst recent strengthening of lending standards will help protect new borrowers, there are many households currently holding loans which would now not be approved. As continued pressure from low wage growth and rising costs bites, those with large mortgages are having more difficulty balancing the family budget. These stressed households are less likely to spend at the shops, which will further act as a drag anchor on future growth. One reason why retail spending is muted. The number of households impacted are economically significant, especially as household debt continues to climb to new record levels. Mortgage lending is still growing at 3 times income, and this is not sustainable. Our analysis uses the DFA core market model, which combines information from our 52,000 household surveys, public data from the RBA, ABS and APRA, and private data from lenders and aggregators. The data is current to the end of October 2017. We analyse household cash flow based on real incomes, outgoings and mortgage repayments, rather than taking an arbitrary 30% of income. Households are defined as stressed when net income does not cover ongoing costs. Households in mild stress have little leeway in their cash flows, whereas those in severe stress are unable to meet repayments from current income. In both cases, households manage this deficit by cutting back on spending, putting more on credit cards, and seek to refinance, restructure or sell their homes. The forces which are lifting mortgage stress levels remain largely the same. In cash flow terms, we see households having to cope with rising living costs, whilst real incomes continue to fall and underemployment remains high. Households have larger mortgages thanks to the strong rise in home prices, especially in the main eastern state centres. While mortgage rates remain quite low for many owner-occupied borrowers, those with interest-only loans or investment loans have seen significant rises. We expect some upward pressure on real mortgage rates in the next year as international funding pressures mount, a potential for local rate rises, and margin pressure on banks. We revised our expectation of potential interest rate rises given the stronger data on the global economy. Probability of default extends our mortgage stress analysis by overlaying economic indicators such as employment, future wage growth, and CPI changes. We've also extended our core market model to examine the potential of 90-day defaults and portfolio risk of loss in basis point and value terms. Losses in value terms are likely to be higher from more affluent households. Regional analysis shows that New South Wales has 242,400 households in stress compared with 238,000 last month. Victoria, 250,000 compared with 243,000 last month. Queensland, 163,000 compared with 168,000 last month. And WA, 121,000 compared with 124,000 last month. The probability of default rose with around 9,800 in Western Australia, 9,600 in Queensland, 13,000 in Victoria, and 13,900 in New South Wales. So now let's look at the top 10 highest postcodes in mortgage stress across the country. There are some changes from last month as conditions change across the states. We see relatively more stress in Victoria and New South Wales. So first, in 10th place, is 3037, which includes areas around Delahaye, Hillside and Sydenham, around 20 kilometres northwest of Melbourne. Here, around 4,170 households are in mortgage stress. Of the 13,000 households in the district, more than half have a mortgage, and the average age is 33 years. The average home price is around $530,000, up from $365,000 in 2010. The average monthly income is around $7,200, and the average mortgage repayment is around $1,730. In 9th slot is another Victorian postcode 3350, which includes Ballarat and the surrounding area. It's about 100 kilometres from Melbourne and is down one place from last month. In this region, there are 4,850 households in mortgage stress. The average property value is $335,000 compared with $281,000 in 2010. There are more than 14,500 families in the area, and the average age is 37, line ball with the average across the state. The average monthly income is $5,300, well below the national and state averages. Around 33% of households have a mortgage, and the average repayment is $1,408 a month. Another Victorian postcode is an 8th spot this month, 3810 Pakenham, with 4,970 households now in mortgage stress, and up from 10th highest last month. It's around 54 kilometres southeast of Melbourne. The average home price is around $435,000, compared with $290,000 in 2010. According to the latest census, the average age is 32 years, and there are more than 12,600 families in the district. The average monthly household income is $5,900, below the average in the state as well as nationally. 46% of homes here have a mortgage, compared with the Victorian average of 35%. And the average monthly mortgage repayment is $1,700. 7th, and down from 2nd place in September, is another Victorian suburb, 3806, Berwick and Huckaway, which is around 40 kilometres southeast of Melbourne, with 5,100 households in mortgage stress. The average home price is $625,000, compared with $451,000 in 2010. There are around 13,000 families in the area with an average age of 36, and more than 47% of households here have a mortgage, and the average repayment is $1,850 a month, compared with the average income of $7,600. In 6th position, we go across to Western Australia to 6030, which includes Clarkson, Merriwa and Temla Park, 34 kilometres north of Perth on the coastal strip. This is one place higher than last month. There are around 11,000 households there, and the average age is 34 years, and more than half have a mortgage. The average home price is $400,000, down from $416,000 in 2010. We estimate that there are 5,200 households in mortgage stress. The average income is around $7,000 a month, above the national average, but the average mortgage repayment is around $2,000 each month, well above the national average. Looking at number 5, we go to Queensland, to 4350, around Drayton and Toowoomba, about 100 kilometres from Brisbane. We estimate 5,570 households are in mortgage stress. The average home price is $490,000, compared with $380,000 in 2010. The average income is $5,300 a month. Around 30% have a mortgage, and the average mortgage repayment is $1,510. In 4th place, and up 1 from last month, is the area around Campbelltown in New South Wales, 2560, which is around 43 kilometres inland from Sydney. Here, 5,760 households are in mortgage stress. The average home price is $625,000, up from $320,000 in 2010. Around 20,000 households live in the area, with an average age of 34 years. The average income is $6,110 a month, and 37% have a mortgage, and the average repayment is higher than the national average at $1,800. So to number 3, we go back to Victoria, to 3805, which includes Narre and Fountain Gate, up from 6th position last month. This area is around 38 kilometres southeast of Melbourne. Here, 5,980 households are in mortgage stress. The average home price is $545,000, compared with $366,000 in 2010. There are more than 15,000 families in the area, and the average age is 34 years. The average household income is just over $7,000 a month, which is higher than the national average. 54% of homes are mortgaged, and the average monthly repayment is $1,700, slightly below the national average of $1,755. In 2nd place, and off the top spot from last month, we crossed the Nullarbor to Western Australia to 6065. This is the area surrounding Wanneroo, including Tapping, Hopping and Lansdale, and is located about 25 kilometres north of Perth. It's an area of high population growth and residential construction, mainly in smallish lots. There are more than 6,340 households in mortgage stress in the region. The average home price is $635,000, compared with $529,000 in 2010, and down from a peak of $813,000 in 2014. There are more than 17,000 households in the district, and the average age there is 33 years. The average income is $8,300 a month, and 58% have a mortgage, with average repayments of $2,170 a month, well above the Western Australia and national averages. And so to the postcode with the highest count of stressed households this month, and up from 4th place last month. It's New South Wales postcode 2170, the area around Liverpool, Warwick Farm and Chipping Norton, which is around 27 kilometres west of Sydney. There are 6,380 households in mortgage stress here. The average home price is $803,000, compared with $385,000 in 2010. There are around 27,000 families in the area, with the average age of 34. The average income is $5,950, 36% have a mortgage, and the average repayment is around $2,000 each month. So mortgage stress is still strongly associated with fast-growing suburbs, where households have bought property relatively recently, often on the urban fringe. The ranges of income and property prices vary, but strikingly, it is not necessarily those on the lowest incomes who are most stretched. The leverage effect of larger mortgages has a significant impact. We'll continue to monitor mortgage stress, and we'll update our core model again next month at the end of November. And once again, before I finish this segment, I think it's worth repeating that many households in stress do not have a robust household budget. And creating this is an important first step to getting to grips with stress. Whilst putting more on credit cards and refinancing may seem superficially attractive options, our analysis shows that these are often only temporary fixes. Getting to grips with where the money is going is an important first step to tackling the problem. Remember too that banks have an obligation to assist in cases of hardship. So if households are in difficulty, they should talk to their lenders rather than hoping things will work out. Given flat incomes and rising prices, this is unlikely. If you found this useful, do leave a comment below or subscribe for future updates. And you can also read much more about our mortgage stress analysis and its footprint on Australia on our blog. I'm Martin North, Principal at Digital Finance Analytics, and many thanks for watching.